Welcome to Reading the Room, where we explore the intersection of creativity and intuition. Hosted by Michael Frontier, a clairvoyant and architect of the soul, and his co-host, comedian Bente Engelstoft. Each week, we invite artists of all disciplines to pull back the curtain on the how and why of their craft. This is a sanctuary for creators, a place to bridge the gap between your work and your gut. So settle in, take a breath, and relax. Let's read the room.
Hey everyone, welcome to Reading the Room with Michael Frontier and my compassionate co-host, Bente Engelstoft.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much, Michael. How are you?
I'm doing well. You know why I say compassionate?
Please tell me.
Because you are, of course, but when I watched the YouTube videos of the podcast, I just, critique myself. But I often just look at your face. And you're your face looks, you've got so much compassion for every person that we're talking to, or you've got such a beautiful listening face. You're beautiful
so
to begin with. So that's easy, but genuinely, you're so enthralled in with what they're saying. And it seems so it's genuine, but it you look so genuine and it's so comforting.
Oh, thank you so much. That's I truly, my face my face betrays me all the time. I if I'm not into it, you'll know. And lucky for us, we've had so many wonderful guests this season.
We really have.
I feel so lucky and so blessed, and so many great stories and so many inspiring people. It really confirms the idea that everyone has a story. Everyone has something that you can learn from them or be inspired by them. It's been really cool to listen back. I feel like every week when I listen back to the episode, I'm like, whoa, I know I heard it the first time, but hearing it again, I'm receiving it again.
I'm going through the same thing and I know most of these people, but hearing the podcast as I listen to it objectively, even I'm hearing things I feel for the first time.
Yeah.
It's stuff I've known, but I'm hearing it differently.
Completely.
And what has inspired me about all of our guests is their resiliency, their ability to just wake up the next day with, okay, what do I have to do to get through the day or get the show produced or book published or whatever?
And people are going through hard stuff.
Yes.
And taking that and either healing themselves through creating or turning it itself into art or saying, wow, I don't want this to be the way somebody else feels. How can I affect other people so they don't feel this way? It's cool.
I have a question I was thinking for you, Bente, is you've got the Sunday scaries.
Yes.
Do you ever feel okay, the world's kind of funky right now? This is why
I do feel that way.
We like our little podcast because we're in our little bubble world. No bad news is going to get in. So, because we are acutely aware of what's happening in the world. But do you ever feel silly putting on your Sunday scaries with the state of the world?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's so funny because yes. The short answer is yes, especially when I'm I'm
going to tell you, don't. But tell me why. Tell me why.
But on Instagram, I have to promote our podcast, sharing clips, and I'm promoting shows that I'm in, and I'm promoting my little art class, and I'm just there's so much bad stuff happening, and I'm who wants to make collages? And the answer is very few people. But I also believe that it is very healing to make art.
Yeah.
Even if you don't consider yourself artistic, it is so nice to just make something and just get busy with the process. Because I think the alternative is to watch TV, scroll on your phone. And those are things that I love to do as well, but it can really rot my brain. So I'm what can I make that feels a little more productive?
Yes.
Productive sounds so capitalistic. I mean it more what can I do that it fills me up? In a way that scrolling on Instagram for an hour and a half is not filling me up and actually making me more anxious and upset,
I think it's so important to say that But what I think about the Sunday Scaries is obviously you're creating art, but you're creating community.
Yeah.
Also, creating community that even if you're not talking about the state of the world, you're with a group of people who just to be together,
Yeah.
just to be in somebody's presence, to share that hour and a half that it's mindless, it is fun and it's silly, but it takes us out of our head. And
Completely.
mhm,
And we need that break.
and
We need that respite. Because if you're gonna like fight another day,
yeah,
you can't be completely burnt out. You need to charge up your battery, you know?
exactly. And maybe another way for you to think about this is there's many ways to meditate,
Oh yeah.
and it's like an active meditation.
Yeah.
It's
Very
like
much.
when you're cutting, holding a crayon, or like, you don't want to go outside the line. If you're that type of artist, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But like you're really focused on creating something, it gets you out of your head.
Big time. It's very meditative for
Hmm.
me, for sure.
Yes, that like chopping in a
Yeah.
kitchen, like vegetables. That's what that does for me.
Yeah. I get that. And
Mhm.
in fact, I know we've talked about this in the pod before about how I'm not much of a cook. I'd like to tell you that I've in fact cooked full meals,
What?
dinner meals, 3 times this week.
Get out.
I looked up little recipes. I went to the grocery store and like my only like problem now is that like I want to just do it right away. I'm like, well, now I have the attention for it. Let me
Yes, of
cook it. But
course.
it's like 3 p.m. and John's not home. So like I'll chop the vegetables and then be like,
You
"Ooh,
ready?
when he's 15 minutes away, I get to put them in the oven."
What
But I
did you
agree.
make?
I made a French cassoulet, a vegetarian cassoulet.
Oh.
I made these chicken thighs in a cream
Oh.
sauce with broccoli and potatoes. And then what was the other thing I made? Oh, I made pork chops the other
Oh.
day as well, which turned out really good. And then I
Oh.
made that with like a nice kale salad and had
Oh,
lots of stuff
nice.
in it, you know?
Yeah.
It was good.
Um, the pork chops, grilled, baked,
I did
fried.
these on the stove. Yeah.
Ooh,
On the stove. Yeah.
that
It
sounds
was good. I
good.
know. It was
Are
really delicious.
these recipes available? Is it like easy to put up in the
Oh,
links on our
Google easy pork chop recipe, and it's the first or second one. It's truly because
Put-
also like buying all the ingredients
yeah,
for like it's very overwhelming for me.
yeah,
For
yeah,
me,
yeah.
and like it's like laundry. Laundry's a multi-step
Sure,
process. Cooking's a multi-step
sure.
process, and when you have ADHD, like there's many opportunities to get derailed. So I gotta keep the list short.
I got it. Understood. I got it. I got it. I got it. Do you like do the cooking and shopping and cooking in one day, or is that like a multi-step? We get our groceries Tuesday, then we cook on Wednesday.
I
How does it
shop on
work?
Monday and then
Okay.
I cook on each day.
So
Like,
there you go.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
But no, it's been a really nice week. I'm performing 3 times this week. I have three
Wow.
shows this week, which never
Congratulations.
happens. Thank you so much. It's like 2018 all over again. It's really
Wow. Good for you.
exciting. Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I think I've put it out into the universe. I want to be performing more. I love to perform. I've been anxious about performing because I'm like, oh, I'm out of practice. And you feel,
Yeah.
when I used to be like at the theater, 4 or 5 days a week, either
Yes.
performing, teaching, or coaching, I felt so in my pocket. And now it's like once a month I do oral and I have to like really pump myself up to not feel that anxiety of this isn't gonna go good like which
Yeah.
before I'd be like I don't care
Yeah, right.
I'll do it again tomorrow
Yeah, of course.
so it was really fun this week. I've gotten to do like two character-y shows. One was earlier this week where I played a woman from Florida whose husband was arrested for firing a gun in his local bar because the karaoke machine was broken.
Uh-oh.
That was based on a real news story, and boy, I had fun with that. And last night I got to do an improv show, and it was all with people I don't know.
Oh,
It was the one guy I had met before, and he invited me to do the show, and it was very much because with improv, you're usually like part of an ensemble that rehearses regularly, that performs, so you're really in each other's minds. You really know the other person's skill set, and you're like, ooh, I get to like pitch this to them, and I know they're going to hit it out of the park, and vice versa. They know your strengths. And in this case, you're like, I don't know you, and we're just going to figure it out together.
yeah.
And boy, it was so fun. I had a blast. And I actually had a very like a moment where we talk about reading the room,
Sure.
which was, first of all, this is a packed UCB theater. Like every seat was full. And that's really a treat. To get people in LA to show up to a theater is like, it's hard. It's hard. People have so many things they could be doing in the city. So when they come out to see comedy, it's really special. Anyway, so you're feeding off the energy of the audience, and you're hearing that feedback, that laughter, that groan, or whatever they're giving you. And there was this moment where no one was coming out to initiate a scene, or they were like giving it a beat, and I was like, I'm going to step out. I don't really have anything planned, but I'm going to see what happens. And people joined me, and I started. And rather than like as a coach or a teacher, I would say that like rather than coming out with my entire pile of bricks to build the house, I just set down my one brick, and everyone else had their bricks. So they put one down, they put one, and I put a second one, and like we built it together. And it was just so cool to trust this group of people I didn't know personally and listen to the audience and see what they're responding to and going, okay, you like that? All right, we'll give you some more of that. And like, it was just really, it's like such an intuitive way of performing. You are completely relying on your gut and trusting everyone around you.
That's the big surrender.
Yeah, it's an absolute surrender.
It's a huge surrender. And that trust with a capital T.
Big time.
In front of an audience. Like,
who's expecting you to, they want a good show.
Yes, of course they do. Yes.
So
wow.
it felt so good. I was flying high when I was driving home. I didn't even put on Google Maps. I just, and I always have Google. I was like, I know how to drive.
Day. Yes, yeah. Wow, Benda. But you know what? That is so cool to hear that, because when you asked me to do this podcast, you had asked me months before we actually started recording.
That's right.
And just I'm like basically I'm using my version of what you just said. I was anxious about the podcast, and like I do this all day. I'm always talking. Like work-wise, I'm just right. So I mean, I know how to do this. I've had a podcast before.
That's right.
But this was different, and it had nothing to do with you. I was so excited. It was like an immediate yes when you asked me. And so thanks for bringing that up, because what I thought was what I wanted to share with our audience was I probably could have taken like another week before we actually started recording, another week, another month.
Sure.
But I realized if I had taken another week or another month, I don't know when we would have started.
Yeah.
And I'm always, whenever I work, I think you're the same way. You don't want to push somebody out before they're ready. It's gonna make them recoil, and
absolutely
like the stage mother, and the kid wasn't ready to do it. But this is the flip side of that, where I did have to, like you said, the leap of faith. You didn't have to build the house. It was one brick.
Yeah.
I had to take that leap of faith and be like, I know what I'm doing. I'm just out of my comfort zone, with our move and everything else. Life was just starting to settle. I was just starting to get comfortable with my new normal.
That's true. You had been moved across the country.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so thank you so much for sharing that, because it's something I wanted to share with you and our audience. So, and look at you, it worked out beautifully.
I think so. And to piggyback on what you're saying about the podcast, like when Michael performed at Oral back in June last year, and I saw you do a reading in front of an audience, I was like, oh, Michael needs to be talking to large groups. And I was like, I don't know how to have a live show every month for Michael, but I do know how to make like a podcast. Like I hosted a podcast years ago in Chicago,
Sure.
as a character, but like it was,
Oh, who was the character? I don't know
oh,
if I know about this.
we were called the Pop Tarts, and we were a British pop group famous everywhere in the world except the United States. And we would perform music around Chicago, and it was so much fun. And my now husband, John, who was just my friend then, approached us and was like, I think you guys should have a podcast. And I was like, what's that? Like, the podcasts were so new. So it's very funny now that my second podcast is also my husband producing. But that's how we first became like close friends, as he was helping with the podcast.
I
But
love that. I did not know that.
no, oh
No.
and that's so sweet. He was just a fan of the Pop Tarts, and so
Wow.
he was like, "I think you guys should do this," and we're like, "Okay."
Oh yeah, that was easy. Okay,
We're like, right, and like, absolutely knew nothing about podcasts, so
Of
I didn't know it
course.
cost money to put them up. I didn't.
yeah.
I was like,
yes.
people are so nice, and they just want to help.
They want to hear from me. Yes,
Yeah,
of course. I will give them
of
what they
course.
want. Of course.
If they're
of
asking,
course.
it's no longer available online, but it was called Across the Pondcast.
Oh, no.
But so when I approached you about it, I pitched it to John first. I was like, "What do you think?" I said, "Listen, I think Michael's so fantastic, and I just want to listen to him more and spend more time with him, and like, what a great way to like get to see him every week, and get some extra knowledge." And I was also nervous because I was like, I'm sure Michael has been approached by so many people in the past, because you do work with a lot of performers and so on.
Yes.
And so I thought, oh gosh, I don't want to be another person who's like asking you for something,
Yeah.
because I respect you and you're a professional in what you do. So to ask you to be like, hey, would you consider doing this free thing together?
Yeah.
Like, how do you
Yeah.
feel about that? So like, when you were such an enthusiastic guest, I was like, whoa, that is exciting.
Yes. Because I was putting it out to the universe. I didn't
Yeah.
know the how. I didn't know what it was going to look like. And so again, just for our audience, Terry, my husband, Terry Opalik, which we found out he's got a new name in the third episode. I can go back and listen. He and I work together so well, and it's effortless. And even if we've got our own projects going on, we're still involved in each other's projects and sounding board and all that kind of stuff. And I'm acutely aware that it was important for each of us to have something of our own. And you asked, and it was the perfect person at the perfect time, even though and I'm saying that because even though there was no trepidation, I this is like the mutual love fest. I respect you. I genuinely like you. I love you.
Likewise.
And I mean, I love everybody, but I really like you. I really
Yes,
do.
yes,
Liking
yes.
is the bigger deal.
Honestly,
And it was like our work together has been so effortless.
I agree.
It's been so easy,
Yeah.
which is what we keep talking about. And I'm so grateful that we've had this opportunity, and the people that have all said yes to us have been so supportive. And, the podcasts are being received really well.
Yeah.
And so we're looking forward to more, in our second season, but we just wanted to give a little recap of our experiences with this season.
Yes, this is a little bonus episode.
Yeah.
Our season was 10 episodes, but we thought we got to like talk about this first season and sort of reflect on it. And
yes,
it's been, as you said, very effortless, and it's like so easy to work with you. We just text each other, hey, when are you free? And it's like, great.
And it works.
Yes. And like, let's find somebody. Okay, I have this person. Fabulous,
Yes.
And I think like at first I was intimidated, where I was like, how are we going to talk about intuition for, 50, 60 minutes every time? Like, is that a broad enough subject? And wow, we can't keep it under 60.
No, right?
Yes.
Because it ties into everything.
It really, really does. It really does.
I mean, go ahead, Ben. I'm sorry.
Well, I think that there's a lot of like I don't like to categorize us as this, but like unfortunately, because the podcast work is so limited in what they sort of categorize things, we've had to kind of fall under this spirituality / religious banner that I think you and I
Yeah.
are like spiritual,
Mhm.
yes, but religious maybe not.
No.
And then also like there's so much, especially in California, Southern California, self-help, guru, woo woo, manifestation chat, which like sometimes can feel like snake oil or
Yes.
feel like someone's just trying to make money, and it can feel really icky, it was so important to me. I think because working with you, I was like, no, like this has actually helped me. So I believe this. I believe in manifesting. I believe in, and like even that word is so like loaded. I believe in speaking out loud what you want,
Yes.
and that is the first step in getting it. Like, if you can't say it, how can you expect it to come to you? You
Right.
know, like I think a lot of people just are like quietly, angrily wishing and maybe getting resentful
Yeah.
and not able to communicate their needs. And I'm hoping that by listening to this, they're realizing, oh, actually, you
Yeah.
gotta say it out loud.
Yeah.
Can you tell everyone about that video you sent me of that little boy?
Oh my God, of course. Yes. So it's on Instagram. I'm happy to share it on my feed and my story. Little boy, I'm going to assume he's about 10 years old, and he's talking about uh, mirror work. So this is me paraphrasing what he said so
Absolutely, yeah.
eloquently, but talking about when, like, if anybody knows Louise Hay is big on mirror work, and you grab your mirror in the morning and you tell yourself I love you, and you're repeating affirmations. And so I've heard that years ago. This little boy, cute little kid, is talking about when you speak, whisper into the mirror. Whisper was really, really
Really
significant.
important. Yeah.
Was that your future selves, one of your future selves in the reflection, would pick up on what you were asking for and help deliver that to you. This is really my basic understanding of what he said. You know what got me about that? So I
Yeah.
was raised as a Catholic. Now again, I'm a bad Catholic. So, but like one of the quotes was like to like pray in private
Mm,
to your father.
mm.
And when I heard the kid say whisper, he talks about whispering like your brain doesn't fight the whisper, the ask is in a whisper. And to me that reminded me of praying in private.
Mm.
I don't know why I made that connection, but that's what it did for me. And that's why I was so intrigued with it. And that's why I sent it to a bunch of people. And I believed him because that whisper was effortless and speaking something into existence. Please.
No, no. I wanted to say that just that this kid is like exactly like 9, 10 years old, and his mom's like, "What did you just say to me?" And
Yeah.
then he speaks this as if this kid has lived many lives, and he speaks it in a way that's like, oh, he knows exactly what he's talking. I believe him 100%. And he talks about how whispering is key. It's not about shouting. It's not even like normal volume. What happens when you speak at normal volume, he says, is you end up judging what yourself,
Mm,
and you feel silly, or you're like, I'm asking too much or whatever. But when you're whispering, it bypasses that part of your brain
yes.
that is judgmental of
Yeah.
yourself. And after you sent me that video, I went into the mirror. I'm an only child. Okay. So I've spent a lot of time in front of the mirror.
This was nothing new for you.
I said, I know all about talking to myself in the mirror. Usually I'm making faces, I'm doing goofs or whatever, or
Yeah.
practicing a bit. But like, I was like, oh, I know this girl in the mirror so well. I know her face so well. So, but I've never whispered to her.
Yeah.
So like, I went in there and I was like, it was almost like I was giggling to myself,
Yes.
whispering, like I was telling myself a
Yes.
secret
Yes.
that only I was going to hear. And I it really felt different.
I know
than
that.
talking, just like, I love you.
Yes.
I am good. Like,
Yes.
that
Yes.
can feel sort of like,
Yeah.
But like when I was whispering, and I was like, "You're doing a really good job."
Yes.
I was like, I also heard it. Think about whispering; you hear it.
Yes,
because you're listening harder.
That's it.
That's it. Thought of that.
So very good. I just pulled it up, so I can absolutely put it up on my in my stories when this episode airs. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
but hold on one second. It's his mother's Instagram feed. She will not let him have his own feed. She will be with him, which I love.
Love that.
And it's Shay Your Love Diva. So I'm going to spell it SHAYYOURLOVEDIVA. And if you're looking for it, if for some reason you're just hearing this and you're not going to my stuff, there's a little caption that says, "Listen to this, boss divas," and there's like a little emoji of a lipstick thing. But it's worth a listen, and it's one of those things. If it resonates with you, fantastic. If it doesn't resonate with you, fantastic.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, it resonated with me, and so I shave in the shower. And I was holding the mirror and, and I was like, well, I'm supposed to whisper to myself right now. It's like, so I whispered something, but it felt different. And I don't know if it's all the work I've done, but it landed differently. Mm-hmm. And that's the beauty of our work and intuition and whatever. It's like you'll hear something, but you hear the same thing 5 years later, and it's just different. And it's a truth. And it's your truth.
Completely.
And to me, that's what our space is about. Mm-hmm. Come and whisper to us.
Yeah.
Because you can make something happen.
Yeah.
Right?
And we love secrets.
And we won't share them.
No.
With all of our listeners. No, it'll be our secret. So. No, thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, I thought it was so good.
And what I wanted to share with you, you said this was, you asked me, and I was putting that energy out there. I was doing that privately. I was like, "Ooh," I didn't even say it to Terry. I was just like, "Oh, I want something to do." And this is what I talk about all day long. You asked me, what's the worst thing that could have happened? I would have said no. Right?
Right.
But you put it out there.
And that's why I said to myself too, I was like, and if he doesn't want, he won't do it as a favor to me. He'll do it because he wants to do it.
Absolutely.
So it's okay for me to ask.
Yes, it's absolutely okay for you to ask. And I hope that's a takeaway for our listeners.
For anything you want.
Anything.
The
How does
worst
somebody
that
know?
can happen is someone says no, and then you move on with your life.
Yeah. And me, Michael Frontier, clairvoyant, I'm not a mind reader. I know a lot, but you got to tell me.
Okay, the whole basis of this. This is really falling apart at the end, Michael.
Do you really want to know that I can read your mind?
I don't.
I can see those triple X-rated thoughts. Wait a second. Come on. So, no, but I think that's a great example because a lot of our work is about giving people permission.
Yeah.
And here's two people that, out of 8 billion people in this world, you and I came together. Mm-hmm. And we're able to put together 11 episodes. And, our hope, of course, do we want people to like what we're doing, of course, and reaching the masses, of course. And yet we felt this need to put this out there and trust it was going to reach the perfect people.
Yeah.
So if we're giving ourselves permission, then, hey, guys, follow along. You can do it too.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about that in particular? Because I've got some other things to talk about.
Please.
Success isn't just about what you build. It's about the internal framework that supports it. I'm Michael Frontier, and whether we're reading the room on the podcast, sitting for a reading, or beginning our coaching work together, my mission is the same: to help you shed old patterns and move forward with a grounded spirit and a fluid heart. When you align your intuition with your intent, you finally reclaim the lightness of your being, step into your purpose, and leave with permission. Connect with me at michaelfrontier.com. Well, I was thinking it's like we don't have a start date for season 2, and it could be, next week. It could be in September. Like, I mean, really, like you might get 45 more bonus episodes before the second season, because I find I miss this time together.
Me too.
It really keeps me grounded.
Yeah.
I find it, and I love the creative outlet.
Me too.
So, like, even if I'm interviewing somebody I know, I have to do a little bit of research, and that's kind of new for me. But there's a few things. I woke up in the middle of the night, and one of the first things I thought of was, I've been actually talking about this for the past few weeks in the coaching work. So I've never been an athlete. So, but like I go to the gym and that kind of stuff, but like I was never like on a team. Unless you can't consider like a bowling league or something. So,
yes.
So right, that could be, but not the most sporty. But like in the sports movies, and you hear the coaches talking about, there's no I in team. So for years I thought about that, and I believed it. It made sense. And then recently, as an adult, thinking about that, and I started to disagree with that. There's no I in team. And what I thought was, I need to know myself first. I need to know what I will be able to contribute to this team. I need to know, we always talk about, infinite potential, infinite possibilities. In reality, we do have limitations. I can't do everything. I'm not meant to do everything. So it's important that I know my capacity, my capabilities. And I'm not limiting myself. I'm a realist.
Yeah.
And I need to know who I am before I can turn into a we or an us. And in particular, a team. I need to know that I can contribute to the greater good of this team. And so I don't know why I thought that was so important to share, but I did want to put that out there.
That's interesting.
I mean, you do improv.
Yeah.
And it's all teamwork, and it's yes and. Okay, so we all know that. But you need to know that you can contribute something to that scene as the I that's going to support that team.
You have to have confidence in your own abilities, which is, and I think for using the sports metaphor, like if you're auditioning for the WNBA, you know that you can dribble, pass, do all these things. These are all the basketball words I know. Slam dunk. And you need.
I'm going to the game with you because you're going to tell me what's going on play by play. So.
Oh my gosh! And like you need to know, that about yourself, that you can do it. You wouldn't go and say, "I've never done this. I'm going to go try it." And similarly, like. So yes, there aren't infinite possibilities. I will never go play for the WNBA because I cannot do those things. I can barely name them. And that doesn't mean there's things wrong with me.
You look good while you were doing it.
The uniform.
That's just right. That's all we need.
Absolutely. So. But I can do that as a fan.
Yes, you can.
So I think you're absolutely right. You have to like do your own work.
Yeah.
In order to then be part of a team.
Yes.
And also when you're part of a team, you don't play all the roles.
Right.
I think that took me a long time to understand is that you have specific positions you play, right?
Yep.
And again, I don't know the words, but like, on a baseball team, there's a pitcher. And yes, he has to bat, but that's not his specialty.
Yes.
His specialty is pitching.
Yes.
And there's a first baseman, and that is the thing that he does best, and that's where we're going to put him because we know that he's going to kill it in that position.
Bente, I went to culinary school. And,
really?
I
didn't know
in
that.
Chicago, Washburn. It was a public school in the city. I went in my early 20s, and it was actually a really great program. And I had every intention of going into like catering, like specialized, like high end, that kind of thing. Those were my thoughts. And before I went to school, like I could not get it out of my head. Like it was going to be like a small restaurant or some type of catering. I could not get it out of my head. Like I had to make the bread, I had to make the pasta, I had to make the sauces, I had to do everything. And then as I started working in the industry, it's like one of the restaurants contract. We got our bread from Diamato's. One of the restaurants I worked in, a great Italian restaurant, but some of the pasta was Barilla.
Yeah.
Pasta that you can get with people waiting hours to get in. They had like nice ravioli, they had other cannoli, whatever. But like some of the just like fettuccine or whatever, it came from a box. Like it was not rolled out in the kitchen,
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh my God, like, okay, the wine comes from this purveyor, the bread comes from them, and and it's like they basically made the sauces and like the meats and the fish and all that kind of stuff. I'm not minimizing what they did, but it was like there was a whole group effort. This was my struggle in life earlier, like me doing everything.
Boy, if that ain't me.
See, right?
Wow, I really thought, I was like, and I know all about being a team player. And I was like, no, actually, I'm always trying to do everything myself. What is that? Is that control?
It's control.
Yeah.
It's that hyper independence.
Yeah.
I think for some of us that comes from needing help when we were kids, but the help it wasn't coming, and we just learned how to rely on ourselves.
Again, but going back to trust, big T,
Right.
trusting other people to help you it can be hard because you're like, well, I'll do it better myself, which isn't necessarily true.
No.
It's just what you believe because that's how you've been living.
Yep. But it is a control issue. I'll admit that. And also often, like Terry and I work really well together, and you and I work really well together. Like, I'm not kidding. I mean, this has been so easy and effortless, and I'm very pleased with our product. And but like, I just know how I like things done, and I know I get things done. I can depend on myself.
Mm-hmm.
I can rely on myself. And so that's been one of my lessons later in life of trusting that they're going to get it done. They might not do it the way I do it, but as long as the end result is what I'm asking for, I'm A-okay with however they got there.
Ooh, that's an important lesson to give. It's hard to surrender, and I think that for me, it's a real practice. I have to like consciously think of it that way. Yeah. I'm going to listen back to this. It comes out and be like, have you been doing that, Benda?
Yeah, but it is a work in progress because it's a skill that that's been honed over many years.
Yeah.
You didn't just turn into somebody who is hyper independent. It's those neurological pathways that have been consistently groomed.
Yeah.
Myself included. And so, with all this letting go, I've told you this before. I did like morning pages, like 3 pages of just the 2 words, let go, let go, let go. It's like it wasn't something tangible. It was this energy, let go, let go, let go.
I remember when John and I first started dating, he was so happy and enthusiastic to help me. Just like even small things, like if I'm carrying something while we're walking, he's like, let me take that off your hands. And I'd never had anyone that I dated do that for me, or I wouldn't let them. I'd be like, I got it. And John would insist. And so eventually I just like, okay, fine. And you realize, oh, someone lightening the burden, that's actually feels really good. And maybe I can trust him to do that. And yeah, that it's like a small thing, even a small start. And now I'm like, carry all of these things, actually. Catch.
That's funny. Oh my God. That's so true.
Yeah, he really taught me that.
I know. I believe you. I'll tell you a funny story. So Terry and I, early in our relationship, so we don't get sick. I'm blessed. I'm healthy. Yay. Good for me. So, but every once in a while I'll catch a cold. So early on in our relationship, I wasn't feeling well. And so I was just laying down, and Terry kept coming in to check on me. And I'm one of those people when I don't feel good, like I'm fine by myself. I'll sleep it off. I don't need anything.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like taking care of me. So, and I was grateful, but like I wasn't asking for it, but I was very grateful in food
Mm-hmm.
and whatever. So that's how I treat myself.
Mm-hmm.
So now a little time goes by and now he's not feeling well. And so I'm treating him the way I wish to be treated, which is to leave him
Oh.
alone. So like I'm not Nurse Ratched. I mean, I could check in.
Yes.
But so then he was starting to feel better and he's like, like you barely even checked in on me. And I'm like, well, I was letting you sleep. Like that's what you need.
It's
And he's like,
rest.
well, you could have asked me or whatever. So I had to learn, like, I think I'm very compassionate. I think I'm very empathetic, but evidently I'm a hardcore nurse. I'm like sleep but I had to learn.
No TV.
No,
Take the remote. You
if
must
you can be
rest.
out of bed, you are fine. So there. So I had to learn how to do that.
That's really interesting.
I had the capacity, but
of
I
course.
wasn't exercising it.
It's so funny because for me, like if John is because John is also similar to me, very independent and able to take care of himself and wants to take care of himself and not ask anything of anybody. If when he gets sick, when he's down, I'm like, ooh, baby, my opportunity to really baby you. Because I actually really like to pamper him.
Aw.
And he is like, no, I'm fine. And I'm like,
Sure.
let me do this.
Yes.
This feels good to me, actually,
Yeah.
to like be there for you. When he had this procedure last year and he had to be in bed, and I knew that if he needed something, he wouldn't ask for it. He would try and get up himself. And so I jokingly got him this little bell. And he's like, I'm not going to ring a bell to
Mistake
summon
number
you.
one.
Right. I'm not going to do that. And I put a little tag on it that said, ring for kiss. And so I was like, this isn't for help. This is just for a little kiss. And so he'd ring it and I'd come running.
That's adorable.
And then I was and then he's also able to like ask me for what he needs, or I could offer it in that moment.
Yeah.
But I was like, I know that you can't ask for help, but I bet you could ask for a little kiss.
Oh my God. I'd be ringing that bell all day. That's awesome.
It's around here somewhere still. It's got a little flag on it.
That is so cute. That's adorable. And I have learned to enjoy the being taken care of.
Good.
And so again, but
I bet Terry likes to take care. He wants
yeah, he
to.
does. He's such a beautiful man and such a beautiful caretaker. And
everybody, get yourself a terrier, John. Honestly,
right?
like
we got some good guys.
Yeah. If you're like out there in the dating scene looking for a partner, like don't settle for less. I'm telling you, good people are out there who you deserve.
That's what you deserve. And for most people, you marry at the level at which you think you deserve.
Yeah,
it's true for so many people.
Yeah, was you receive the love you think you deserve.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're not always the best at giving quotes, but
listen,
we have
paraphrase.
the idea. We're creatives, all right?
Okay.
You get the gist of what we're trying to teach. So, I think, like even in this podcast of allowing you to, assist is not the right word, but like I trusted you immediately. Although you and I've never worked professionally together, I've seen your work, I've, witnessed what you've done, but that was a beautiful surrender into Benda knows what she's doing. She's bringing her expertise into this arena as I'm bringing mine. And it's proved to be quite powerful.
I think so. Yeah. It's been incredibly like rewarding and, it's like I'm very bad at keeping up with most things. But this actually in 2026, I've been like really on my shit, and like I've been doing this weekly Substack, writing these stories and doing this podcast regularly and doing my show regularly and doing my art club, and I really feel a shift in myself this year where I'm on it, and I think it's because it's because I made a big choice at the beginning of the year that I was going to stop smoking weed.
Ooh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, it really was something that I had become a bit of a crutch for me because
Really?
because I in 2020 I was like, the world's ending.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
stuck at
yeah,
home.
yeah,
Who cares if I get a little stoned in the
yeah.
afternoon or whatever? But then like it started and it was like fun and cool and like all my friends and like it was like social and then it got to the point where I was just like, I'm not getting anything done. I'm
Mm.
feeling so sad. I'm feeling anxious and I'm smoking to make myself feel better, but I'm not actually feeling better. And I really had to have like a real conversation with myself of like, hey, and it was like a full year of me thinking about it before I actually did it. And I think some people can like taper down and be like, only weekends, but I needed to go out. And I my thought is like I'm going to go a full year and then maybe I can do it once in a while as a fun thing. But right now, I know that if I try to do it again, I'd be like right back into
Yeah.
you know. And I can you know, in the beginning in the first week, I need a hat in 2 days. You know, I really found stuff to do because I was like,
Sure.
I'm so available and present to my feelings and emotions. I cried so much in January.
Mm.
Um and I recognized that what it was is that I was like, I'm not like numbing myself or distracting myself in this way. I am fully feeling everything, maybe a little heightened because of stopping this thing abruptly, but um it's been so good for me. And you know, I miss her every day. No, no, not every day, but like every once in a while, I'm like, oh, it'd be so fun too. But like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, you know what?
yeah.
It's okay.
Yes.
I'm good, and
Yeah, you are good.
it's been a real change and a real shift for me. So
Wow, I didn't know that. Thanks for sharing that with me and all of us.
yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Wow.
I was a little like shy about it at first because you know you don't want to be like you don't want to sort of claim to be
Yeah,
dependent on anything. You know,
yeah,
you
yeah,
want to be
yeah.
able to, but I I've had friends who have asked me about it in recent weeks and being like, so like, how are you feeling? And I'm like, I hate to say this because I know how much you enjoy and how much
Right,
I enjoyed it.
right, right.
And I don't think it's dangerous in the way that other drugs and dependencies can be. I don't feel that way. It really was only bad because I was unmotivated and unfocused. And it wasn't helping my ADHD at all. It was
Mm,
making it much worse. So but I'm like, I have to say, without being preachy, like it's really for the better
mm.
for me. For me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Do you feel, it sounds like you sound like you feel clearer.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
wondering if it's helping with your creativity.
Absolutely.
S-
Absolutely. That's the other thing. I think people fear that, like, but if I'm not thinking funny things, I won't have anything
Yeah,
funny to say. And I'm like,
yeah.
trust me, you're actually more open to inspiration. You're actually, I'm
Wow.
actually out about in the world and being inspired by other things rather than being at home. Cause I'm a safety gal. I wasn't smoking and driving. Like, I wasn't doing that. So I was like, I'm staying home. And that meant that I wasn't seeing folks and I wasn't
Sure,
going out and to museums or to
sure.
parks or whatever, you know? So I could kind of accidentally made myself a bit of a hermit. And so this way, I feel that I'm have more access to my creativity. I'm way more present. I'm completely able to like reflect on stuff on a way that I wasn't before. I like able to think about it and decide how I feel about it. And I think that can be scary and intimidating, especially if you're going through a hard time. I had friends who've lost parents in last year and they're like, "Oh, this isn't a time for me to quit." And I'm like, "Totally get that.
Yeah, of
Totally get
course.
that." Because yes, you will be very present with your feelings
Yes.
without a crutch, you know? But I will say like you have to go through it. Go through emotion to resolve them. Like someone was saying again on Instagram about
The
how
Bible.
yeah, the Bible, my Bible
The guru, yes.
Instagram, where like kids are able to process their emotions. Like they'll be like crying, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Okay, time to play again,"
Oh,
because they allowed themselves to feel
yeah.
sad or
Yes.
rejected or let down or whatever, you know, disappointed, and then they're like, "Okay." now I'm ready to go back to playing or doing what else I was doing because I
Yeah.
actually went through the emotions of
Yes.
that. And I think that that's very true.
I can't even tell you how much that resonates with me
Yeah.
because we were taught, I mean, it was every person in my neighborhood, they didn't say this, but like, don't feel your feelings,
Oh,
quit your crying or I'll give you something to cry about. Like that mentality. And so your feelings were a weakness.
yeah.
Expressing your feelings seemed like that was a weakness. I guess that's
Yeah.
a clearer way to say it. So yeah, it's a lot of what I talk about of like sitting with it. Uh, maybe I shared this. I realized as an adult reflecting on my life that I had gotten to forgiveness too quickly
Mm.
because I don't like upheaval. I did not like things out of balance. And so I just
This
found
resonates with me.
it was just
Yeah.
easier to get to forgiveness because
Yeah.
at my expense.
Yeah.
And as an adult on the other side of it, I realized like going through the feelings and anger, I was not sitting with my anger.
Yeah.
I think part of it scared me because of like losing control. I'm not a violent person, but uh, being angry was not something I was comfortable feeling.
Hmm.
And so on the other side of it as an adult, I had to sit and kind of go through that process of grief and anger and whatever to finally truly get to forgiveness for whatever it was as a child, as a teenager, pick the age. But yeah, that was a huge moment for me, a huge tipping point.
And any feeling of discomfort, whether it be anger, grief, disappoint, any of those so-called negative feelings, we're
Yes.
like, I want to be happy. I want to be happy all the time. And
Yes.
like,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
you, you have to go down to get back up. Like, you can't, you know
Yes.
what and that sounds sort of, got to get up to get down. But in this case, the other
Yeah.
way around. And you have to experience lows in order to experience highs.
Yes.
And the thing to remember is that you're never down forever.
No.
Life is like this. And so I try and think about that all the time. Like if I'm having like a sort of a bad day, sad day, I'm like, this is not forever. It will
Mm-hmm.
turn around. And then when I do have a good day, I'm like, there it is.
There
I
it
knew it.
is.
Like I knew
Yes.
that it would lighten up. Thank God.
Yes.
In the
Yes.
span of a week, like earlier this week, I said to John, I was like, am I a loser? Like, I was just feeling like a loser. I was, and like it was a lot of like comparing myself to other people
Sure,
and
sure,
like,
sure,
all
sure.
this stuff. And John, of course, is like, yes, no, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. Yeah, I know. John was like, what are
As
you
he rings his
talking?
bell
Yeah,
asking for
yeah,
a kiss, right?
kissy. No. And John is like, what are you talking about? Like he
Yeah, of
almost gets
course.
mad at me when I do
Yeah, I
this,
would too.
Yeah, and I'm like, I know. And then yesterday I'm driving home from an improv show and I'm like ready to roll the
On
windows
top of the
down and
world.
scream out loud and be like, I love improv. Like just on top of the fucking world.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right. That's how, within the span of a few days, I can
Yeah.
feel like that and I can feel like this. And
Yes.
both are not true, but both, like I said, true. Yeah,
They're
both
truth.
feelings are true.
Yes.
But it's not um written in stone that forever I'm a loser. It's also not
No.
written in stone that I'm always going to be up, and that's okay.
No, that's so true. And, this is a lot of what we talk about, like regulating ourselves. And
Yes.
what I can add to that on the other side of it is like with work I do, or if it was Terry's Toffee, I never let the compliments get me too high
Mm.
because I never let the critics get me low. So it's staying neutral. And where you had a great show, great.
Yeah.
And you were feeling like a loser, like, great.
Yes.
Like, so keeping that in check. But you need to feel it in it. I think this is a Neil Donald Walsh quote from the Conversations with God book series. You have to experience who you're not in order to become who you are.
Oh,
That's
that's
very
good.
true.
I was talking to my friend Amy yesterday, who's also a coach, but she coaches like tech founders and
Oh,
stuff, which is really interesting.
wow.
And yeah, that's a big thing apparently. Like these like tech guys are like, well, I have a coach,
Yeah,
like it's sort
yeah,
of a
yeah.
flex now. So
Yes,
she's
yes,
in that
yes.
world, which is really interesting. She's basically giving therapy to these guys who don't want to go
Yeah,
to therapy. Um,
yeah.
and she was talking about how we focus so much on losses and we're not counting the gains enough. We need to be focusing on our gains.
Yes.
And that's to me very, very bro speak to say gains, but like it, but that's it. It's like,
You need a win.
why can't we celebrate these wins? Like,
Yes.
eh, w- they're so, they don't happen all the time. So when they do, my God, let's celebrate. Let's pop the champagne. Let's make a
Hmm.
big deal about it.
Yeah. They, that's interesting you're saying that. I think for myself, I realized I did not celebrate myself enough.
Mm,
I know how to do it, but for myself, I was lacking.
yeah.
And so that's like it's a conscious effort for me to celebrate my wins, my gains.
Hmm.
You know, it's my normal, so I don't think about it.
Yeah.
But when I look back on the accomplishments or the highs or whatever, it's like, wow, man, that's pretty cool. You know,
Um.
I'm one of those people like 5 years out, I recognize it.
Yeah.
But like going through it, it's like, it's just my normal.
My dad gave John and I this tradition that I really love. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see there's like a little crystal
Yeah.
bowl above me, and it's filled with
Yes.
corks. So anytime we celebrate something, I save the cork and I write
Ooh.
down what we celebrated, a new job, our short film being finished, or things like that that we're like, ooh, I'm really proud of this, and so like the corks fill up, and you get to kind of go back and you can look at what was this one for, and it reminds you of all these like special moments that like you can physically see, and you could do that with anything. You could write it on a little stone if you want to, or
Yeah.
on a seashell or something, and just remind yourself of your gain.
That is so cool.
A little
That
physical
is such a
representation.
great idea. I'm using that as if I made it up myself.
Take it. Take it.
No, you'll get the credit for that. Your father-in-law. That's beautiful. That's really
Yeah.
smart. Ooh, I love that.
And my dad will say it now whenever something exciting
Your
and fun
dad said it.
happens.
Your
My
dad
dad,
said it.
yeah.
Yes, yes,
He'll be
yes.
like, well, go get a bottle of champagne. And I said,
Yeah. Oh, I
okay.
like that.
Yeah.
I really like that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
That's actually a perfect place to end the conversation
I think so
because I know we
too.
can keep going and going, but I actually have a meditation for us to wrap
Fabulous.
up the season.
I love it.
So, and can I just share something? I know we're going to wrap it up, right? And
Yeah.
I got one more thing to say. I
Whatever you
think that this is the first time ever that you and I can promote something that is actually in line with the
want.
podcast.
Yes, I think you're right. It'll be out in time.
Because we are, Benda has been kind enough to invite me to the April oral show.
That's right.
And I believe the date is April 24th.
Fourth. Yes, Friday, April
So
24th at the Elysian Vault in Los Angeles at 8:30 p.m. Michael Frontier will be live and in person doing readings for folks in the audience, answering your questions.
Yes.
We had such a blast last time. I'm so excited to do it again. I can't wait.
I can't wait either, but I was more excited that we were just finally in sync with something that we were going to be promoting. So,
Ooh,
right?
I
So
hope. I hope.
we're going to make it happen. Well,
Okay,
if
yeah,
it's a
yeah,
week
yeah.
later, we had a great time
It
and
was
we'll catch
really
you next time.
fun.
So perfect. But thanks for being my partner in this.
Thank you,
It's
Michael.
been
Thank you for saying
awesome.
yes. Thank you for the enthusiastic yes.
Yes. So we'll be right back and we'll go through a season 1 finale meditation. All right, everybody, we are back and we're going to just take you through a meditation. And I based this meditation on all the guests that we've had over our first season. And I kind of thought it was a nice way to kind of go full circle and use that full circle as our foundation for the next few months and our second season. So if you're ready, you all know if you're not driving, you can get to close your eyes. If you're driving, you can just listen, but get yourself comfortable. We love to close our eyes and take a big, deep breath. And exhale. And let your hands rest loosely on your lap. And this time as you breathe in, this collective breath is for everything that we've explored together in this first season of Reading the Room. And I want you to bring your internal gaze to the small of your back, to the space of your kidneys. And this is where we often store the what ifs and the ancient fears of being seen. As you breathe in, imagine a cool blue light washing over this area. On the exhale, let go of the tension of trying. Feel the fear dissolving into a soft, supportive mist. You are safe to be exactly where you are. Now move your attention to your heart and your gut. Throughout this season, we've talked about answering the calling. Visualize your calling not as a mountain you have to climb, but as a river you are finally stepping into. Stop paddling, stop steering. Feel the relief of the art of allowing. The current knows where it's going, and you are a part of the current. Imagine a gate in front of you. It's been closed for a long time, perhaps out of a need for protection. But 2026 is the year of the horse, and that gate is now swinging wide open. Think of the projects you've nurtured, your own plays, your own creative seeds. See them catching the wind. Feel the synchronicity of the universe rising up to meet your efforts. You aren't forcing the movement anymore. You are galloping with the momentum of the time. Take another big deep breath. Acknowledge the work you've done this season to unlearn the perfection that kept you small. You are leaving season 1 lighter, clearer, and ready for the speed of what's next. The room is red. The gate is open. Let's ride. And whenever you're ready, come on back.
Oh, that was my favorite one yet.
Zeus. Isn't that cool?
I love that meditation, Michael.
I love the line, unlearn the perfection that kept you small.
That hit
There's
me.
a takeaway. That was my takeaway.
I love that.
I love you.
I love you, Michael.
I have loved this whole season. Thank you so much. To our listeners, please, please, please feedback what you'd like to hear more of, people you'd like us to talk to. It could be you.
Yeah.
Please, we're open. Obviously, Bente and I can fill up. We're really trying our best to keep it under an hour, but I think we have one episode that is under an hour.
Yeah.
But every word, every conversation leads to another, and we can hold our own. So
yes, and until our next conversation, please take care of yourself.
Yes.
Keep whispering to yourself.
Keep whispering. Yeah.
And thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll see you in season 2.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for sitting with us today. We hope you're leaving with a little more clarity and the permission you've been looking for to create on your own terms. Remember, the clearer your intention, the faster the universe responds. To join our community or to book a private session, visit michaelfrontier.com and follow us on Instagram at michael.frontier and Bente Ingrid. Keep trusting your signal, and we'll see you next time on Reading the Room.